Hannah Hidalgo's nose ring is being taken out before they are going to let her back on the court.
Explain what happened with the nose ring, and is that something that Hannah's had all year, and what happened there, and do you think that disrupted play?
Yeah, I didn't know what happened, so I guess it was in a point of emphasis in the Sweet 16 with jewelry, and she's had a nose ring the entire season, so just wish we'd have known beforehand, but can't control it, so we had to move on.
For everybody who doesn't know, everybody who did not watch the Notre Dame versus Oregon State game, in the second quarter, Hannah had a nose ring in. She's played with a nose ring this entire year. There has been other players for women's college basketball who have played with a nose ring in the entire year. It's not a big one. I would say it's a relatively small nose ring, but they play with it the whole year. Like, you see some players who put a Band-Aid on it. I've seen some players, they don't have a Band-Aid on it. So I think we've seen Hannah wear a Band-Aid and also not wear a Band-Aid. And for the second quarter, the refs told her that you have to take out the nose ring. And this is something that she was pretty upset about because supposedly she asked before the game, and yeah. So actually, let me. I want to make sure I'm giving y'all the facts on this. So I'm gonna pull up an article about it. It says that the decision came as a surprise to Hidalgo, coach Neil Ivey, and those on the Notre Dame bench. Hannah has played with a nose ring the entire season, including the first 2 NCAA tournament games last weekend. In a post-game interview, Hannah said that one official initially told her that she could wear the nose ring as long as she covered it up. But at the end of the first quarter, she was told that the nose ring had to be removed or she couldn't play in the game. So, of course, she sat on the bench for about 4 minutes as the trainers tried to take it out. Now, guys, it took them a while to take that nose ring out. And when we were looking at it on TV, and it was like 2 people, and they was really trying, and I was just like, how long does it take to take a nose ring out? Like, I thought, like, okay, I've never had a nose ring. I don't know anybody who has a nose ring, like in person. Like, I know people who have a nose ring, but I've never seen them take it out. And I assumed it was going to be like a quick thing, like an earring. Just take it out and, go ahead and do your thing. But guys, it took a long time for them to take it out. And Hannah said that the trainers didn't know how to take it out, and her nose was bleeding. And she was given no explanation for why the officials changed course throughout the game. Here is what Hannah said. I thought it was BS because I'm on a run, I'm on a roll. I scored 2 baskets, and having to sit for all that time, I was starting to get cold. I think the officials were worried about the wrong things. They should have ref the game. Now, guys, the reason why they told her to remove the nose ring is because it's NCAA policy. But it's a policy that the NCAA and the officials have not been, they have not honored this policy all season, because there are multiple players in the NCAA that have a nose ring, and they play with the nose ring during the game. And so it was sort of like odd that they, that now is an opportunity for them to for them to enforce something, So yeah, it says what was confusing to Hannah and Coach Neil Ivey was the specific enforcement during the game after she was allowed to wear it all season. Ivey said she was given no explanation in the moment. Instead, after the game, she was handed a printout of the NCAA rule prohibiting jewelry and was told it was a point of emphasis in the Sweet 16. A point of emphasis that the refs did not tell the players about. Usually point of emphasis are put they usually put something out about the point of emphasis, and they tell the players and the teams that this is a point of emphasis. And also, guys, if y'all hit that like button, that would be phenomenal. We got 200 people in the chat, but we only have 80 likes. If y'all hit that like button, that would be awesome. Also, while I'm at it, huge shout out to the Patreon folks. Shout out to all the Patreon members, people who are financially supporting this channel. I really do appreciate it. If y'all want to, on a recurring basis, financially support this channel, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Quita Loves Sports. All right, let's continue on with this explanation. So yeah, Coach Ivy says she's had a nose ring the entire season. Just wish we would have known beforehand. Can't control it. So yeah, we had to move on. But yeah, stoppage of play is never great when you are trying to have flow, especially when this team only runs 6 players deep. And to have Hannah off the court for that long, that hurt. That really did hurt Notre Dame, and I think that you can't have blunders like this for the NCAA. Absolutely call it. Say, hey, you got to take your nose ring out, but do it during warmups. Do it before the game starts. Do it but before the day starts. If this was a point of emphasis, which supposedly this is a point of emphasis according to this article, if this is a point of emphasis, why wasn't anybody told about it? There was no press releases about it. There was no talk about this being a point of emphasis. And Hannah wears a nose ring. She wears one every single game. So the fact that nobody saw it, nobody was paying attention until the end of the first quarter, I think is wild. I think it is really wild to suddenly enforce this thing. Absolutely. Rules are rules. And players should follow the rules. However, if the rule has been ignored the entire season, why now? Why now in the Sweet 16? Like, I think that logic is completely jacked up. And guys, let's look at the Athletic wrote an article about this as well. And Coach Yo posted on Twitter about it. Yeah, Coach Yo says, my players have been playing with nose rings all season. Yes, there is a rule about nose rings, but players have done this all season, and nobody said a word. Nobody said a word until now. Absolutely, rules are rules. But if everybody has ignored the rule all season, it is not a rule. If everybody ignored it and no one was ever called for it, it's not a rule. So I thought that was pretty messed up. I thought that was really messed up. That the refs decided to do that. And I feel like that kind of cost Notre Dame the momentum, and it cost Hannah rhythm. Would Oregon State have won regardless? Possibly. But now we never know. Now we don't know. We don't know if and now this is a conversation. Instead of it just being about how phenomenal Oregon State was, and Oregon State was phenomenal in this game, absolutely. The conversation is what's going on. Is the refs rigging it for Oregon State? What's going on? Does sports betting have something to do with the fact that they decided to enforce this rule that nobody follows all season today? I think this could lead to conspiracy theories. And if the refs and if the NCAA would just decide to be consistent, this isn't an issue. That's always been the rule about jury for the NCAA. That's always been a rule. players can't wear it. But I mean, you've allowed it all season. You've allowed it. So why now? That's what I say. Why now when the lights are the brightest it has been all season? Why now? So I think this this isn't a good look. This is not a good look for the NCAA at all. Not a good look, because again, it just leads to conspiracy theories of people like, why did you why are you not following, you know, why did you choose today to make this known? And guys, I do want to call out one thing. Ice Young, who is a reporter, I believe, and was at the game, said, here's a statement from the NCAA on Hannah's nose piercing removal mid-game that we just received. And so this is the pool reporter statement. So shout out to Ice Young for posting this. It says, question, why was Hannah Hidalgo of Notre Dame required to leave the game at the start of the second quarter to remove jewelry? And it says, from the 2023 and 2024 women's rule book, head decorations, headwear, helmets, and jewelry are illegal. And religious headwear is permitted, provided it is securely fastened to the head and is subject to the approval of the referee. And it also says, it also cites two other things. It says, ruling at the first dead ball, A5 shall be required to remove the jewelry immediately or be required to leave the game and not return until after removing the jewelry. A5 cannot buy the right to wear jewelry by being charged with a technical foul. And another one says, A1 is using a narrow plastic stem to prevent, what? So it's saying that if a player had, like, because I assume if you take a nose ring out, it'll close up really quickly. So they said you can put something there to prevent the nose ring from closing, assuming it's not determined as dangerous by the referees. So guys, that's sort of the, I mean, that is what the NCAA sent the pool reporters about this. Guys, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. JB says, not one to overly indulge in conspiracy theories, but it's hard to argue against them on this day. Enforcing that rule today and no other time since November was weird. Really, really weird. I agree. I absolutely agree. Hinokami says, sports betting is definitely a factor. S. Cole says, I blame sports betting. Bree says, well, apparently one of the refs knew they just switched up. Yeah. I mean, Oregon State deserved the win. They absolutely did. But now it's a black eye on the game. It's a black eye on the game. It is a black eye on the game. Because now this is what people are going to be talking about. This is what people are going to be talking about. This is the conversation. And I think all this could have been, this all would have been fine if today they said, okay, for the Sweet 16, yes, our point of emphasis is, nose rings and taking that out. Okay, absolutely, that is fine. You had pregame, you had multiple opportunities to tell the coaches and the players this. You had pregame, you had warm-ups when you saw the players. I mean, the refs are on the court warming up as the players are shooting and stuff. So you had that. You had the captain's meeting that happens at half court to tell the players and coaches that. You had the tip-off where all the players, circle around, and Hannah was there too. All the players circle around ready for tip-off. The refs are there looking at all the players. That was another opportunity. There were several opportunities before this game started to tell somebody that you were actually going to enforce a rule that you have not enforced all season. And I think that that's something to note. And absolutely, Oregon State played their butt off today. Absolutely. They did. And they deserve to be talked about. And we talked about them earlier. We talked about how great Tamia Gardner was in this game, and how she showed up and showed out with a double-double, 21 points to get the win for the Oregon State Beavers, right? We talk about Reagan Beers, who did her thing as well. 18 points, double-double again. We talk about Hunter. Donovan Hunter came up big with some big shots, including a big three-pointer. You have Talia von Oelhoffen, who did her thing as well, especially late in the game. There were some phenomenal plays by Oregon State, and they absolutely deserves the win. They absolutely do. But at the same time, because the refs decided to enforce something, again, that they have not enforced all season, it leads people to wonder what was the reason. So I'm just saying, like, I think this was a bad look for the NCAA. Bad look. People are already talking about how there's people already have conspiracy theories about the refs wanting certain teams to win. And you don't help yourself by doing stuff like this. Yeah, AF says they should have just let her cover it up with a bandage. BJ says, truth bomb, they should have said something before the game. Absolutely. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. If this, because according to that ESPN article that we just looked at earlier, according to that, it's a point of emphasis. If it's a point of emphasis, why didn't you tell somebody? Why doesn't nobody know that this was a point of emphasis? Let's revisit the article. It said, after the game, Coach Neil Ivey was handed a printout of the NCAA rule prohibiting jury and was then told it was a point of emphasis in the Sweet 16. I'm just, if there was a point of emphasis, why not let somebody know? Again, she had the nose ring in the entire season. Could have taken it out in pregame. Could have taken it out before tip off. And that hurt her. That she was off basically the rest of the game after that. No excuse, because at the end of the day, you still gotta, regardless of what the refs decide to do, you still have to show up. And she had a rough game. And Oregon State won, and Oregon State deserved to win because they were the better team out there. They were the better team. But this does not help to convince people that the NCAA is not rigged. This doesn't help at all. This does not help. Carmela says, I said yesterday in the chat, Oregon State was going to win that game, and South Carolina was going to win this one, but it was going to be a close. You called it too entertaining for sure. Yeah, absolutely. This was entertaining. Alan says, gotta go watch North Carolina State. Yeah, we're not gonna stay on much longer because we do have North Carolina State to watch. Kyra says, that's what you do when you're trying to cover your pettiness. Oh man, Hino Kami says it definitely affected the game for Notre Dame negatively. Yep. Yes, AEPs, yes. That is the point. Yes, the whole point of something being a point of emphasis means that you are going to let people know beforehand. And nobody was told beforehand. So is it really a point of emphasis? Is it really? Michael says, as a ref, it's a hard enough job. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot with crap like this. Yeah. Angel better take hers out. Every women's basketball player who is still in the NCAA tournament. All coaches, y'all need to tell y'all players to take those nose rings out because you don't want to end up like Hannah Hidalgo. All right? Take your nose rings out. All of y'all. Take y'all nose rings out. Like, please take them out. Christy says all coaches should receive NCAA rules before the tournament. I mean, all coaches, they have a rule book. They all have a rule book. They know the rules. Everybody knows that players are not supposed to wear nose rings. The rules is not the problem. It's the fact that the refs haven't enforced that rule all season. And so players and coaches are like, oh, well, okay, well, I guess we're good on this one. We can ignore this rule. They know the rules. Coaches should receive point of emphasis before each game, especially in the tournament. If there is a point of emphasis for a particular thing, the NCAA should send that, especially in the tournament, to the coaches. Not the rule book, because they already know the rule book. They know, everybody knows that was against the rules. But no one cared. The refs never enforced it. So, B Girl 1214 says the rules aren't the problem. The selective enforcement is. That part right there. Yes, that's the whole issue. That is the whole issue. You are absolutely 1000% right, B Girl. That's the problem. That is the problem. You selectively enforce stuff. If it's a rule for everybody. All right? If you're not going to enforce the rule, then don't enforce it on her today. You know, I'm just saying I thought it was pretty messed up. I thought it was pretty messed up. But that being said, you don't want to put stuff in refs' hands, especially this late in the game. So I personally, I would have asked, be like, hey, even if the refs don't say nothing, take it out. Take your nose ring out. Take it out. Any rule, you especially in the tournament, coaches, y'all gotta tell these players, hey, we don't know if they're gonna enforce it or not, but y'all need to take it out. Take out the nose ring. Take it out. Even though you talked to the ref, one of the refs before the game, and they said it was okay, just as long as you like cover it up. That don't matter. Take it out. Take out the nose ring, because we cannot let this cost us the game. So absolutely yes, the refs have selective enforcement, and they should have just told them early that this was a point of emphasis. But also, maybe this game was so important that you should have just said, you know what, Hannah, even though the ref said it was okay, that one ref that you talked to said it was okay before the game, take out the nose ring, because we don't need no problems. This is a Sweet 16 game. Win or go home. We need to win. So I need y'all to run everything by the book. All right? Run everything by the book, because we don't know if they're going to enforce this rule or not. So I think, both things are true. Both things are true in my opinion. Yeah. I would have probably told them, hey, take that thing out. Take that thing out. Because yeah, I mean, it was against the rules. It was against the rules. So both things are true. The refs should have said something earlier if that indeed was a point of emphasis. And also, this game was such a critical game that at that point, y'all got to do everything by the book. Everything. And that includes taking out all your nose piercings, all that. Take it out, because you don't know when they're going to enforce something. Theo said, like I said earlier, very bad look for the NCAA. We should be talking about the incredible game, not this controversy. Absolutely agree. Absolutely.